Alright guys, so we're on to the next video here. And in this one, I'm going to show you how to change the lock on your coin doors, your coin box doors, your back doors, what have you. It's basically going to be very similar. There's going to be only very minor differences depending on what you're doing. Like, if you got to change a lock for, say, a back glass on a pinball machine, that's going to be a little bit different. Pretty much the same process, just a little more adjustments needed with that than this. But let's start out with this one. This is my heavy barrel game. Now, you can see there's a key in here and the lock actually works, right? See, the coin door opens, it locks, the whole nine. But here's the problem. The key won't come out. There is something wrong with the tumblers on the inside of this lock. So, we have to replace this, no matter what. Yeah, this is fine if you want to go ahead and keep your game in your own house like I was doing with this one, because whatever, who cares? But, if you have it on location, obviously you can't leave the key in. That doesn't make any sense. So, I'm going to show you how to do this. So, first thing, go ahead and unlock it, open it up. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and kind of adjust the camera here, so give me just a second. Okay, so we're adjusted. Now, very first thing you're going to do is take the screw off. Now, some locks are going to have a stud with a nut on it, okay? And this one obviously is a Phillips screw, so I don't really remember what the size of the stud is, or the nut for the stud. I want to say it's like a 1/2 inch or something like that, but I don't really remember. You can just use a pair of pliers and just take it off. But first thing first, go ahead and take off that screw there, alright? Then you can take the cam off, or the tang, or whatever you want to call this part, alright? Because the tumblers are on the inside of the lock itself. Now the next step is to take this nut right here off, alright? That's what holds the entire barrel on. Now this should be a 7/8. 7/8, okay? 7/8. I don't know what the metric is for that. Go ahead and just take whatever metric socket you have and just try and find one that fits. It's fine. If it's super loose though, I wouldn't use it for putting a new one on because you might strip the nut out. I unfortunately don't have a 7/8 socket, so I need to use an actual wrench. So I'll get that wrench on there just to loosen that nut, or at least attempt to. There we go, it's loosening it up just fine actually. Sometimes they're a pain in the butt. Most of the time they're not. This one's just being a pain for me. Okay, there we go. That was kind of sort of coming. Another way you can do it, I'll show you this just because this one's actually being a pain for me. You can use a pair of slip pliers. Just grab onto that thing and just give it a twist. See? Coming out just fine like that. Alright, now we should be able to get it out by hand. Hopefully. Yeah, it's got a lot of resistance here. It shouldn't have a lot of resistance. That's just telling me that whoever put this one on definitely caused problems with it before. Damaged it in some kind of way. Do-do-do-do-do. It's a-coming. There we go. Whoop, got it in the coin box. No problem. Nuts off. Alright, there comes the lock. Again. I've got a new lock right here. Okay, so go ahead and open this up. So, it's going to slide in like this, just like you see. Alright, now from here we'll open up our door, and we're going to put our nut on. Now this should thread on a little bit smoother. As you can see, it's just sliding on like butter, because these threads aren't damaged. Alright, now again, you can use your pliers if you want to, or your socket, or your wrench. I'm just going to try with the wrench. You don't need to make it super tight. Making it super tight can actually cause other issues too. You just need to have it in there so it's not going to spin on you. Alright, there we go. We're good to go. Now, we'll put our tang on, and our screw. This part can be a little tedious, it just kind of depends. You know, some of them are a little easier, some can be more of a pain in the butt. Just really depends on the door you're putting it on and the angle it needs to be and so on. So get that tightened down real good. Alright, so there it is. We got our lock assembled. Now if I go and put my key in, you'll see it locks in that direction and the key will pull out just fine. So what we need to do at this point is close the door, lock it, and see what we need to do to adjust this little Tang piece, alright? Because not every single time you replace a lock is it going to be perfectly aligned up with the stopping plate on the door itself. And what I mean by that is if it's too loose, your door is going to flap around. So let's see, I locked it, see that? That's way too loose. So what we do is we put the Tang in the closed position, take the key out, because if you have the key in there while you're doing this adjustment, you can actually move things up and down, and that can cause you bigger problems, alright? So all you're going to do is take your pliers, grab a hold of the Tang, and very carefully just bend it in the direction you need it. So let's say it was too tight, you couldn't lock it at all, it won't even close. You want to pull it away from the door, okay? We don't need to do that. We need to pull it towards the door. So very carefully and slowly, you're just going to bend it inward. If you need to, you can readjust it so you have more space. Alright, so I got it slightly bent. And you only want to do a little bit at a time. Alright, you don't want to do too much. And we'll try it out. Alright, we still got a little bit of wiggle there. So we'll go ahead and do some more adjustment. Just like so. Sometimes you gotta get inside the door and then do like a twist kind of a thing. Now if you bend it too much, it'll start to bind against the body here and it won't really lock very well. You can tell by when you turn the key, because you have a lot of resistance when you turn this key. That's not good. Alright, we got only a tiny little bit of jiggle. Technically speaking, that will be good. But I'm going to try and just get a little bit tighter, just because. Alright, look at that. No wiggle whatsoever. The key just pulls right out. See? Look at that. No wiggle. So now the lock is changed. We're good to go. We don't have to worry about anything. Alright. And like I've said before, it's the same with the majority of the times you have to change the lockout. Alright? So just remember those simple little steps, and you'll be able to change your lock in a heartbeat. Alright guys, well thanks for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. You all have a great night, and we'll see you on the next one.